Well, I've kind of got something different today, and it's actually different than what I had planned. But when I went to grab the blank that I was going to use, behind it I found a piece that I had stored in there, and it reminded me of recently one of my viewers, and I think it was Linda, asked about twice turn bowls, and I explained that I have a drying box. I'll rough it out to 10% of the diameter, put it in the box, and sometimes in 2 weeks it's ready to finish, or I'll just turn it thin. I believe she said she has some fresh wood that was just cut and wants to turn it and wasn't sure how to go about it. Well, behind that piece of wood that I was going to turn, this was laying in there. I'm not sure why it ended up on a shelf. This didn't go in my drying box. I think I set it aside to do the next day and did something else and forgot about it. I turned it on 11/7/22, marked 35%. It's dry. So we're going to turn that today. So I'm going to show how I get it remounted against the chuck. And obviously that tenon is oval now, and you make it extra big so you can turn it down. The walls are about 10% of the diameter, which is around 8 inches. So let's get it up against the chuck, and I'll talk about what I'm doing as I do it. So I'll be right back. So I've opened the jaws as wide as they'll go, just to give myself a larger surface to set against, and also I have a step up down here from when I roughed it out. I still have the little indentation from the live center, so we're going to use that. That's it right there. And I got to turn my lathe on. I haven't had it on for about 4 days. A little bit too much going on right now. So that's not really that far out. First thing I want to do is get this down to a size that I can grab with this chuck, and it's going to go down quite a bit. And for that, I'll use my 1/2 inch hole gouge. That hardly worked at all, actually. About 820 RPM. Okay, let's get a mark on there. I even have a sharp pencil here. That was pretty close. So we want to be right about there. I'm going to go ahead and square this up right now, because as I turn this, if something goes out of position, at least I have this in place. You want to get that square here, and you want the bottom flat. Okay, that is ready. I'm going to put some shape on here, and I have maybe 3/4 of an inch of wall to play with. Let's see if I can see what I have here. Yeah, we're getting down in the 1/2 inch range there. So I don't want to take a chance on having this move around. I'm going to take it off, flip it, get it in the chuck, and then I know we can keep it true. Let's see if we can come back up this way and get it a little bit better. Okay, we have it round. We're going to flatten this top off. That sounds flat. I'm going to go ahead and sand the outside, and I'll be starting with 80 grit, and I've got a couple of questions on why I sand in reverse. Well, one of the reasons is I have the dust collector right here, and as I sand it just goes right at it, pulls it all away, so I kind of like that. The other thing is I don't want to go down under here and sand. You've got to try to keep the angle. If you go forward, you don't want it pointing that way. You got to point down. To me, it's more uncomfortable. Got a bad wrist, so I like doing it this way. And it really doesn't hurt to sand both directions, because as you cut, you're lifting the grain this way, and if you sand it in reverse, you are knocking those off. I think it was, oh wow, it must have been close to 50 years ago after we got married. I bought a smaller wood lathe, and I wired it so you could go in reverse, and it was a motor with a capacitor start, so you can wire them backwards. So I've been sanding in reverse for quite a while actually. This is nice because it's built in. So let me get this sanded up, and then we'll come back and we will cut the inside. I've got the outside all sanded up, and I'm going to turn the inside, and it seems pretty round, so I think we're going to have plenty of stock. Okay, that feels pretty close. Yeah, that's just a little under a quarter there. We'll switch to a 5/8. make a little adjustment here. Better see what the bottom is right now. Okay, I've got about a ½ inch. So we're going to take more off of that and we're almost done. Okay, this one's ground with an angle that will allow me to cut across here without hitting this rim up here. That's not too bad. I'll use a negative rake scraper to finish off this right there and get it leveled out. I think we are ready to sand the inside. That went pretty easily. Pretty much the same process. I'll start with 80 grit. Work up to 400, but this time I'll have the lathe running forward at around 400 RPM. Sanding was pretty easy, and I'm really liking the contrast that this walnut has. It's not real easy to keep that contrast as drastic as it is, because this always seems to darken. So my best shot is to use something that dries totally clear, and that's the Minwax water-based sanding sealer. Now it sort of darkened up, but not as much as other finishes will do. Like a poly is going to be yellowish. I think this is going to look good. I'm going to put a couple coats of this on, and then I'll decide what to do. Might be all I put on it. So I'll do the outside. It's going to look the same, and I'll be back and we'll need to remove that tenon. So I'll see you then. That's really nice if it just stays that way. Well, it's been a couple days, but it's now time to remove the tenon. So let's see how that runs. Oh, pretty nice. Just use a 1/2 inch bowl gouge and we'll cut this away. Close. Got that. Alright, I'll get this sanded up, signed, and finish on it. I'll let you see how beautiful this wood is. Well, here it is, and it actually turned out to be a very pretty bowl. That is some gorgeous black walnut. It's got a really nice contrast as well. That is real nice there. It's very pretty wood. It turned out about 7 3/4 inches in diameter and almost 3 inches tall, and the walls are 1/4 of an inch, and here's the underside. So I used 2 coats of the Minwax water-based sanding sealer, and then I used 2 coats of the polyacrylic, which is also water-based, abrasive paste and polish. And it was kind of fun doing this. I wasn't expecting that I even had one of these unfinished bowls, but it was a nice surprise, and it worked out pretty well. Just to kind of show how I remount it in the chuck, you have to true up the tenon, and if you can do all the outside without flipping it, that's always good. But this worked out pretty good, and I don't do that many twice turned. I suppose if I was into craft shows, I would take a lot of green wood, rough them out, and come back months later and finish them. But I like turning them all at one time, because once you get to the inside and you start down, you have all that mass supporting all your cuts. So when you do it like this, it cuts a little bit different than doing it from a chunk of wood all at once. But it still works good, and I really enjoyed doing it, actually. And I hope you enjoyed the video. So I really do hope you enjoyed this video. I know it was a little bit simple, but I have a lot of things going on right now and not a lot of time, and this fit in there perfect. And if you're not subscribed, please consider doing so, and thank you for all that are subscribed. Till the next time, see you later.